Hello guys, today we're at Miracle of Science Bar and Grill at a Bitcoin meetup. We're gonna go interview some of the enthusiasts and see if we can find out any new information, get a little bit of a bead on the community, and see what these guys think about Bitcoin and the alternative coins. Welcome back to CryptoLiveLeak, and today we're in Cambridge, Mass at a Bitcoin meetup with some Bitcoin enthusiasts, and we're gonna interview them and ask them some questions on their thoughts of Bitcoin. So let's throw it around and introduce the panel today.
I'm Chad, and I'm involved in Bitcoin.
That's good.
That's what we all got in common.
My name is Gerry Bitcoin.
Gerry Bitcoin.
I'm Lewis. I came from an investor from stock market. I'm all into Bitcoin now.
Awesome. So pretty good crowd here. Let's set the table with some questions. So first question is going to be, when did you first hear about Bitcoin?
You're going to have to do the direct. I first heard of it because I was gambling on the Super Bowl this year in like February. I won a coin toss, and it was going to take a month to get my check out, and I was like, this is stupid. And then I had an advertisement, get more with Bitcoin. So I just kind of learned how to like do it myself and get my own wallet. As soon as I watched a documentary about it, I immediately put like everything I own. And now it's my bank account, and I've been I haven't looked back since.
Just loving life.
Yeah,
that's great. Cool.
I just converted, I didn't even buy Bitcoin, I just converted my fiat. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do.
mean, with gambling, I feel like every gambling site should be paying in Bitcoin. Why do they ever pay in US dollars? It's gonna, it's illegal,
right.
so it's
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I was gambling. I'm not much of a gambler. This is just a coincidence.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of invested in the stock market too. So I had some kind of a knowledge of investing and understanding money and that kind of thing too. It just happened to be a gambling site. So what I'm saying is I'm a little bit of a gambler, but not that much. You know?
Well, you got to be a little bit of a gambler if you're going into crypto.
Right. Yeah.
It's all in the heart.
Right. That's fine.
So you got crypto.
So the question, when I first found it?
When you first found it, when you first knew about it. Yeah.
I first learned about it sometime in 2012. I couldn't figure out how to buy it, other than if I did, I wouldn't be here now. I'd be in a warm climate. Yeah, I found out about it, and I was impressed with it right away because I was at the time looking into local currencies, and there's been other digital forerunners. I remember the Let's system. It was in England. I was reading about that. Anyway, so when I came across it, I was really open to the idea, and so I watched some videos that really touted it, like documentary. There was, I think, at least one documentary back then. And then after that, I would look for the criticisms against it, and none of it seemed to hold up. And that's when I was like, there's something big with this. And so I bought some, like maybe like 2014. It wasn't doing anything. I ended up spending at Veggie Galaxy, and, and it kept going down in price. So, but like about a year ago, at one of these meetups, I started getting back in, and pretty aggressively. And so yeah, it's gone up 17x approximately since then. Yeah, I'll stay with it.
Great story. It's a good time.
Well, I kind of started, I knew about it last year, and I tried to get more involved into it, but I didn't know how. So I started reading, going online, and then I went to a meetup. So the very first, I tried to look up meetup page, people like-minded like me, and I found this guy, and then I find this guy. And before, I was all into, so I saved up a lot of sum of money, and I went to find another source of income. So I was going to buy some real estate. I was going to buy me a building apartment complex, and based off that, live in one unit, rent the other one out. That was my model to make some good money. And then after I met this guy, he sent me to a website, some people to kind of really get into this game.
I gave him the gospel of I gave him the gospel of Andreas Antonopoulos.
Yeah, and then once he did that, it kind of opened up my head, right?
Yeah.
And then I got hooked up with this guy, and he kind of helped me, like, kind of made me understand what really is going on. and based on what they told me and what I've learned, I took my model from the stock market, from going to be a real estate part-time to buying property.
So you know what it's like when an asset starts going up in value. You know what a chart looks like.
Precisely.
Exactly. Okay, so that's where you in.
So I take that, so all that money, I said, you know what, let me make that change and use the Bitcoin. And at the time, Bitcoin was going to its first fork, the very first one. So I was able to kind of get in that time zone. And then ever since then, I've become a believer in everything. I'm trying to actually, half of my 401k plan, I removed it, put it on Bitcoin, and then the other half, I'm waiting for next year because of tax reasons, because it's a big sum of money. So I'm waiting next year to get into it, to be like more into it. I feel next year, we may or may not see 50,000, but it's coming. I don't know when, but I know it's coming.
It's going to be 50,000 by the end of this year, man. Yeah. You're looking at like February. Like, I've seen, it surprises me every day. I'm like, yep, that's it. I'm to the moon.
That actually leads into the next question. So, as you've seen, the futures market just got introduced. Bitcoin futures started trading yesterday. It's small volume. It's only one exchange that opened so far. We had about 3,500 contracts traded today. So that's very low volume. If you consider gold, they trade about 400,000 contracts a day on gold. So we're a very small percent of what that is. But given that, what do you think Bitcoin's going to be price-wise, standing-wise, in the next 5 years? Your 5-year outlook.
5 years.
5 years from now.
5 years. I think there's going to be another technology that might surpass it, possibly. Like kind of like Bitcoin's a MySpace, and there's another one out there that we don't know about. However, I was just told by some of these people, once we understand how, like the core team for Bitcoin, they are developing it to make it a little bit more easier to use. So it is the one that, if it can be upgraded, then you don't need to use anything else. That's the one everybody's using. The marketing's great. They have documentaries on it.
Like add smart contract capability to Bitcoin?
Yeah, if basically Bitcoin keeps up with the rest of them, I do think that Bitcoin can hit $100,000 to $500,000 per one Bitcoin.
But
and that's actually trying to be conservative. I looked at some of the Reddit's posts on some conservative stuff. They're like $5,000 by March 2018. And it's now like 17,000. So I think the word of mouth spreading with the internet. I think a lot of people are really starting to understand it, and just the education, like how to learn about Bitcoin. It's going to really make it.
I like what you said earlier. It's not waiting for anyone. There's no constraints. It's not going to wait for you. It's not going to not hit your prediction because that's what you said it's going to cap out. It's like, the train's already out of the station. The genie's out of the bottle. And it's going to do what it wants. There's no stopping.
It's not going to wait for you to let it dip. It's a train that's already going. And the more people that learn about even just money, they're going to realize that this is the best form of money we've seen on a global scale. And if fiat currency is being printed on a global scale, we're talking about a daily. If it's being compared to fiat currency, of course it's going to go up in value.
It's a fixed supply. So, Jared, 5 years, where do you think Bitcoin's going to be?
5 years, Bitcoin will continue to be causing consternation, controversy, upheaval, and surpass expectations. That's my prediction. Whether what price it actually hits, who can say really? Because there's so many other factors involved, like what will happen with fiat currencies. I mean, we're heading in a direction that could be Weimar Republic territory, and with the fiat currency. So, when and if, well, I'm going to say when that happens, really, because that's the direction we keep moving towards with the development of currencies globally. And so, to actually be able to give an exact price for Bitcoin, when that happens, after it happens, I mean, people will probably panic in a situation like that. Even people who own Bitcoin may run towards cash, and then run out of cash, and it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of shock and awe.
So back and forth, but eventually it will work its way higher.
I think that it doesn't have to continue, but it is, the technology is so innovative that the world truly has never seen a global, decentralized first of all, we haven't even seen a global currency. Never mind it's decentralized, secure,
borderless. Yeah.
Borderless.
There's only 21 million numbers, go.
That's the best part of it, yeah. Louis, what do you think about 5 years from now? Where's Bitcoin going to be?
5 years, I think it's going to be over, I'm going to say at least 40, 50,000 minimum, but that's just me being very conservative. But I feel there's a lot of problems in the world right now where fiat in general is a big problem. And crypto is part of the solution. It may not be the only solution, but it's part of the solution. And Bitcoin being the early guy, if they solve the scaling problem, the fee problem, I think Bitcoin's here to stay for a long.
You mean when they solve it?
Yeah, thank you.
They kind of solved it with Bitcoin Gold in a sense. There's a lot of people that are on board with that technology because of the 8 megabyte block size.
But if people look at the Bitcoin Gold, there's a signed signature at the end that neither Big Cat or Bitcoin doesn't have. This is one of the reasons why I went and got 50 Bitcoin Gold, because I feel long term that might turn around and play, especially in the privacy world. It's gonna play that because that signature is very important.
Additional layer of security on that signature.
Exactly. So I feel that's gonna play a role.
So that's an example of Bitcoin upgrading its technology, but not necessarily upgrading Bitcoin, the Bitcoin. So that's a problem with Bitcoin. Whenever it seems to upgrade or want to advance its technology, it splits into an entirely different coin.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're losing value from the core community.
Yeah, you are, but so it's more like the team has to work together instead of forking, find a way to resolve it internally. The forking, like for example, honestly, Bitcoin could be a $20,000, $30,000 right now. If we didn't have Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, we would have had a major price.
The other ones were there, they would already match your match in 5 years.
Exactly. So because of that fork, you're getting all these prices, but if you add them up together, you're looking at 20,000, 30,000 coin. So Bitcoin has really come out of the ashes, and so far from what I'm seeing, every centimeter at Bitcoin is able to evolve and then come back. So for me, from an engineer perspective, I look at Bitcoin, honestly, like a big black hole that's gonna suck in all the fiat money. I don't care which country, which world you come in. It's gonna suck up every money around you.
People have like tens of thousands of dollars underneath their mattress, and they're just going, wait, I need to get on this Bitcoin. I'm gonna just find it underneath my mattress. I've been telling people about Bitcoin all the time, and then all of a sudden my friends that are broke are like, hey man, I got $10,000 if I have. I'm like,
where'd that come from?
You got a 2006 like Honda Accord, like what?
I just had to buy you a beer.
Right, yeah. Like, how do you have with this? Like, I'm on to you, man. Like,
So my thing, I started thinking, so after I met this guy and this guy, I went on my 401k, I took a loan out. 50%, which what I can take. I'm one person, and I was able to take $220,000 out of my 401k. What about when the massive people started really learning about Bitcoin?
Not just Wall Street, like the little guys.
Yeah, what do you think is really going to happen? Now, institution, the CME and the CBOE comes in, they're going to try to contain and control the situation. Maybe it's going to be for a short term, but I think the long term, they're going to lose control of it. And I honestly think that's what's going to bring Bitcoin to $500 million a coin because of that lost control.
When the automobile was invented, they had horse roads, and so everybody thought that cars didn't work on horse roads. But once the infrastructure flipped to accommodate vehicles with gas stations, it flipped the whole kind of thing. So right now we're living in a fiat currency kind of friction kind of transactions, and so it's still kind of tough to use Bitcoin, like to be accepted at pubs everywhere. But once it like flips and people are able to accept Bitcoin everywhere, I just bought a drone from like this guy that sells drones. I was like, you wouldn't have to have Bitcoin account or whatever, and he did, because it saved me a trip to the bank. And I was like, he just signed up like a week ago, and I was like, yeah, I'll give you $400 for this drone.
That's awesome.
And it was like really kind of like a moment, and now I'm sure he's like, it's a little bit more. But, but it was nice that he was able to accept it, because I had saved me a trip to the bank and all these things.
So it seems like ultimately it's the utility and the possible upgrades to the technology that will drive Bitcoin's value into the future. But we all seem to agree that its value is going to continue growing from where it is now in a 5-year 5-year span?
$5 trillion market.
$5 trillion
at least.
market.
Yeah, at least.
So that leads into the next question. Final question is, Bitcoin has disrupted the financial industry that we know. It's disrupted our fiat currency. But what is going to disrupt Bitcoin?
Another one, possibly like Dash. But here's the thing, VHS tapes and the beta tapes are a little bit better, but VHS won for some reason. Same like you got the DVD, the HD DVD, and then Blu-ray was a better technology. So Blu-ray was the one that won. MySpace, and then you got Facebook.
Right.
So which one won, in the end of it all? You got Google, Yahoo. The markets are going to decide it. I actually used Dash. I had my friend drive me to the airport, and I said, I'll give you $10 worth of Dash because the fees were cheaper to use Dash and just zip it to him. I don't have to count money out. I can store it in my phone. It's amazing. It's like Apple Pay to your person.
Cheaper fees than Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't buy coffee with Bitcoin right now, but you can use Dash. You can use Bitcoin Cash, and ultimately you can use gold to store your value, and then you can use paper money.
Oh, interesting.
I think that paper money, fiat currency, the technology is definitely way behind it. It's like time for a new change because it's not even off the gold standard,
Yeah.
And that's what's scary about fiat currency. People are waking up to that.
That's what makes the Bitcoin's price to the upside unlimited, because you can print the
Right.
thing that's buying into it.
Right, it's a black hole, like you said. Yes.
Black hole. You can continuously print new fiat currencies to feed into Bitcoin. It never stops.
And what I do is I feel bad for the people not buying Bitcoin today, even just $1,000 worth or something that they can afford to lose. But Bitcoin to me is actually my bank account. You know what I mean? I'm not pulling it out. Me not pulling it out says that I believe that much that Bitcoin's not going anywhere and it's here to stay.
It's like, why would you go back to a horse once you start driving a car?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like I was telling
Or an airplane.
like I was telling Gerry earlier, if you put money in a bank, they maybe give you a 0.5%, 0.25% every year. With Bitcoin, you guaranteed a 10-20% every year, depending on how much you put in.
It's actually 1% a day if you look at historical returns. You're getting 1% a day.
That's how much you're printing money, 1% a day globally. So it's just this black hole.
That's a reflection.
That's probably what exactly is happening. If you're comparing diamonds to seashells, it's just gonna keep. They're gonna keep getting created as
So on a closing note, give your favorite alternative cryptocurrency to Bitcoin, and give a little spiel about why you think it's so positive.
I would say Dash over Bitcoin Cash, but I just spoke to somebody that wrote a "What's the big deal about Bitcoin" yesterday, and he said that a lot of people are all in on Bitcoin Cash. So it's kind of like I'm
Faster transaction speeds, lower fees,
right,
bigger block size,
private, yeah, all that stuff, anonymity. Sometimes that can be like a factor of it too.
Okay.
So I would say Bitcoin Cash or Dash.
Okay.
But everybody's signing up for MySpace, so to speak, or
Yeah.
and or even just Google. It has to compete with the other ones, or otherwise it's going to go away very quickly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Jerry?
So far, I'm really not very interested in the altcoins, just because I'm fairly conservative in my investing. To me, it's like if I'm going to put my money and my investment into something, I want it to have, the best devs. I want it to have the largest network. I want it to have the longest track record, the most viability. And I was telling Lewis on the way over here that we've got this new analogy of the way to think of Bitcoin, and this is why I think that the price can go so much higher. Which is, if you compare Bitcoin to a Van Gogh painting, right? In his time, he wasn't recognized as a genius that he is now, right? And he was way ahead of his time. And Bitcoin is the same thing. People aren't recognizing the genius behind that. So the value hasn't been realized. And firstly, because just most people still haven't heard about it. But then when they do hear about it, they're like, nah.
Because they're scared of chance putting that much money as their bank account.
Right.
That's what I did. I was like, yep, come on, red. I mean, that's how I got into it, gambling.
Yeah, and so as it grows, you're getting more and more people to realize the value. The way they, Van Gogh, his paintings are some of the most valuable paintings in the world today. So, to me, that's why I have the most confidence. If you really understand the technology and its disruptive power, then you can see how it has so much more room for growth. And just like I was saying earlier, that this Bitcoin meetup, almost a year now, somebody said when it was about $1,100, they said, oh, it just can't keep going up. You know, and that's when I stopped.
Amazing.
That's what my friend said at $10,000.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll wait for it to dip.
Yeah.
I'll wait at $2,000. He's like, I'll wait for it to dip.
So
still hasn't bought in today.
Oh my God.
And I have to keep nudging him and rubbing it in. I hate to do it, but it's like, these are people I've given money to, you know? Yeah.
yeah, so like that could be the same thing today. We could be looking back 5 years from now and saying, oh, I wish it was only 17 grand. Oh. You know?
I'm sure we will.
Because it was worth a third of a penny, like, you know what I mean? I wish Bitcoin was a third of a penny.
That's what people can't conceptualize. Something that goes from a
And
third
it's
of a
not going to
penny
wait for you.
to multiple thousands. They feel like they already missed the boat because of the massive return that you've seen.
Right, yeah.
And so this
It's
thing
not
about
over. If you understand the technology, it's just not over. It's
people who use the analogy about it being a bubble. A bubble has to be widely held, and Bitcoin is not even close to widely held.
Fiat's the bubble. Fiat's the tulip mania. If you really look at you're talking about 20 million numbers being shared with 8 billion people.
Yeah.
If 16% of the money supply got into Bitcoin, one Bitcoin would be worth $1 million.
I like that number.
You know what I mean? It's like, so Bitcoin right now, to use it on Coinbase, to use the technology, you honestly have to be a little bit above average. Because to get in Coinbase, transfer Coinbase to Bittrex or Binance, it's a little bit complex in the beginning. It takes some practice. Like, for example, for me, I know I lost $500. It's the first time I'm going to say this. I lost $500, but I made it back. It was my learning curve, right? So I think because of that, so there's a learning curve to it. So people are not really gonna be, into it like that. So it got a way to go up.
So what do you think is your best alternative coin? Do you have anything to recommend?
My alternative, the way I tell people is this: okay, so after doing a lot of research, you come down to currency, computation, privacy. So for me, I said you want to look one from each one of them. So Bitcoin for me, I'm gonna say okay, Bitcoin and Litecoin. All right, so those are the things I'd look at because you gotta look at it in different groups. So currencies and Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold. I get those because anything with Bitcoin name is gonna explode, no matter what happens. It's gonna happen. So I think right now, Litecoin, right? So when I bought Litecoin, it was like $28, $30. Litecoin's got a lot of more room to grow. Why? It's a silver, it's a currency. The fees are less, the scaling problem is fixed, the swiping problem. So Litecoin solve a lot of internal problems. So I think potentially Litecoin now may go to 1,000. Right? That's just my general observation.
I just sold it.
So I'm not gonna sell my.
That could happen quickly.
I'm not gonna sell my.
You're reaching for it again,
But I think the other two is what people want to look into. Computation is going to become a big problem. Why? You got Tesla inventing self-driving cars. That's going to need a lot of computation, and the technology is already here already. That's one. The other one is privacy. As times go, we want our privacy.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crazy.
It's going to be crazy one. So unless you got the privacy resolved, I think in that area you got Dash, you got Monero. So Monero is a good key one. Dash is. So Dash, Zimbabwe, if you guys know Zimbabwe, they have a major currency hyperinflation problem. Dash just got involved with their government. Dash is also in the talk with Venezuela. So Dash internally, it's fixing a lot of real world problems. So for me, Dash is something I'm not gonna sell even if you put a gun in my head. So I'm gonna hang on to Dash, right?
I use Dash, and that's when I go, hey, I'll give you $10. That's what I use.
Because I wouldn't use Bitcoin as a currency because it's going up too much. I feel like if I use it as a payment, I'm going to pay 3 times as much.
It's like the store of value, and like Dash or Bitcoin Gold is the spending one. So
Exactly. Yeah,
right now,
more stable. That's not
right now, until
doubling
they fix whatever they need to fix or whatever. Yeah.
So it's been great talking to you guys. Maybe like for a close up, can you just plug whatever if you want, your Instagram or your Twitter or your business?
Oh yeah. Check out wackychad.com. I'm a comedian, street performer. WACKYCHAD.com.
I have no Bitcoin business.
I'm a poor guy, but check this guy website and then learn how to get involved in crypto in general. It's a paradigm shift, wealth transfer. Get involved in it with 1,000 or less, and then it'll do you good. That's my advice.
No, but take everything you own out of your bank account and put it into Bitcoin, and that's what you do. That's what I do.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching CryptoLiveLeak. Until next time, take care. All right, that was fun, guys. So we learned a little information about what the community thinks about Bitcoin and some of the alternative coins, and that was pretty fun. So until next time, enjoy CryptoLiveLeak.